Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about choosing a research topic. How do you choose a research topic and how do you decide which research area you will be working on? There are certain things that you can do to narrow down your research topic, but firstly and most importantly, you need to be looking at your own interest. Because if you're going to be doing a PhD or a master's research project, the most important thing is your own interest because a research project is a long term commitment, and until you are interested in it, you might not be able to do so well. So, first and foremost, identify your own interest. And how do you identify it? If you're someone who has a tough time deciding between a lot of different fields, then what you can do is to read around those fields and find out which one interests you the most. Find out the topics that most grasp your attention or make you curious, because you need to be curious about something if you want to research into it. So find out what that is for you, what works for you, what catches your interest, what makes you keep reading into the literature. Find out your interest. The second thing is to narrow down your interest. Once you have found out what niche or what interest you have, then you narrow it down. Do not keep it too broad. For example, if you are going to say you're working on Shakespeare's work, that is a lot. Narrow down what type of work, which particular essays or which particular book you are going to be working on. Similarly, if I give an example from my own field, if you say you're interested in studying hepatitis, then you need to know that hepatitis is a really broad topic. There are multiple causes of hepatitis and there are multiple streams of dealing with that disease. Firstly, try to identify whether you're interested in the cause of the disease or you're interested in curing the disease. Once you know that, then further narrow down which cause or which sort of treatment you're interested in. Keep it short, keep it interesting, and make sure that your research objectives that you find out from these or that you want to work out are not too broad. Keep them narrow, keep them interesting, and make sure that they are creative and new. Don't go into something that people have been doing for years and years. Now, I'm not saying you have to come up with something extremely novel or something that no one has done before you. That's ideally not possible. You build from work that already exists and then you try to find gaps in those work, and that is completely okay. Just make sure that you're not repeating anything, that you're not doing something that has been done millions of times before. That is not interesting. So you have identified your interest, you have identified your research topic, narrowed it down. Now you look at the supervisors. You need to find a supervisor who has interests aligned to your own interests. You cannot go into someone's lab who does not work along those lines, who only remotely works along that. Because during a research project, a master's or a PhD, you need advice, you need expert opinions. So you need to find someone who has similar interests to you, or who has a lab where the work you are proposing to do, or a research environment where your work could be catered to. It could easily be done. Don't choose a supervisor just because they agree to give you admission. Make sure that you take admission where you think your research can be done, because you have chosen your interest. Now you need to find out where that interest takes you and where you can fulfill that interest of yours. And then you move towards the feasibility, the timeline, and the funding. Where do you find funding for that kind of research? Is it easily attainable? How much money would go into it? You need to have an idea about those. Although you are not going to be funding your research yourself, you need to find out that the university, the lab, or the supervisor you choose have the appropriate materials and the fundings, the means to carry out that study. That is how you further narrow down your research topic and the place that you will be going to. Once you have selected your supervisor and your university, to further find out whether it is actually a perfect fit, what you can do is to read dissertations or publications from that lab or that supervisor, so that you find out the methodologies they use and whether those methodologies interest you. Because ultimately, we are going back to the first point again and again, and that is what you should do as well. You should see if that interests you. If something does not spark your interest, if it does not catch your eye, and if it does not make you more curious, then probably it is not the right thing for you. So explore dissertations and papers. Now, when you're applying, you do not need to go into excessive details or read everything A to Z. It is good if you do so, but if you think you do not have the time or you cannot do that, at least read the abstracts or read the basic introduction of a dissertation or the final conclusion. You have to take a look at these three things, skim through them, do whatever you can easily do, but do explore. Because without exploring these things, without going into the details of your research topic, you will never come up with something that actually interests you. Just make sure that you take this seriously and you actually do all your homework when you're trying to pick up a research topic. If you take care of all of this, if you make sure that your research topic is not too broad, you choose the right supervisor, you choose the right university or lab, and you do your homework in terms of literature review and proposed methodology, then your research topic will keep you interested for as long as it takes to do the research. And hopefully, you will do really, really well. I wish you good luck. And that is all from my side. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so for more content. Thank you. I'll see you. Bye.